folks, and thank you so much for waiting. For those of you that don't know by now, this is CCS Invite Series Season 2. This is week number 6, and this is one game I think we've all been waiting for. Number 1 and undefeated, the only undefeated team in CCS right now, Nomads, taking on JSG with Skies and company, otherwise known as Irrivate. Crazy Man joining me today. Are you excited for this match?
Oh, I'm hella excited.
This is a match that I have been absolutely waiting for. I think this is going to be one of Nomad's biggest tests of the season, but I don't think I'm going to make the same mistake as underestimating them like some of us have done in the past. This is definitely a highly anticipated match. Now, looking at the stats here, JSG joined through the add-on tournament win, and this will be the second game that they have played. So they inherited a 2-2 record. However, they've only played one match, and the statistics that you're looking at, the rounds 4 rounds against average TKD, are those stats from that game. Now, it was a pretty rambunctious game, if I were to say it nicely, versus Onslaught. Onslaught not wanting to reveal any strategies because they had relegation shortly after that match. However, they have now won relegations and secured their spot in Pro League, so congratulations to them, but enough about them. JSG, a team comprised completely of Pro League players, half from Era and half from Elevate, hence the nickname Irrivate. So yeah, that's kind of the team makeup. Nomads, on the other hand, is a team that nobody quite had heard of on the staff here at CCS, but they quickly have made a name for themselves, going 5-0 the first 5 weeks. What do you think of these stats, and what do you think of this matchup, Crazy Man?
I mean, like you said, this is definitely going to be a test for Nomads. We've seen them perform beautifully so far. There's a reason that they are 5-0. So it's going to be it's going to be a heavy test for them. These are Pro League players that they're going against, but Nomads, they have that skill behind them. So I definitely see them putting up a solid fight against JSG today. This is going to be an exciting matchup though, because so I want to note a few things real quick. We've seen Sharsh play in some rather odd ways. We saw him do that army crawl on border. We've seen him do some other things where, you know, it's just stuff that you would not expect to see. It's just so outlandish that you kind of laugh when you're watching it, and then he pulls something crazy off right after it, and you're like, well, how does this happen?
Yeah.
So it's unexpected things coming in from Nomads, and I think JSG, being these Pro League players, they've got the confidence to do things that are outlandish as well. They're going to be like, yeah, let's try this. Let's just blow open this random wall, and then we're all going to vault through and just gun everything down. Maybe we'll see something like that. I don't know. But like I can definitely expect both of these teams to pull off things that you wouldn't expect to see anywhere else. So I'm really excited to see what kind of things we see tonight during this match.
I agree. Now, you do have to take a look at the rounds 4 and rounds against for Nomads. They've been in some knockdown dragouts, and the last time we see them, I believe the last time we see them, was a hair of your chinny chin chin style win against Powerhouse in the overtime of map number 3. So, they've been in some pinch situations before. They've been under pressure. We're going to have to see if the lineup here for JSG is going to be at all intimidating. And I got to tell you, if I'm on the other team that's playing against JSG, I'm definitely going to be intimidated. So we'll have to wait and see how they handle that situation. And that being said, let's go ahead and have a look at the lineup this week for Japanese Schoolgirls. And I'll start us off. This week, instead of Skies, we have just been informed that he has a plane to catch early in the morning, so he will not be participating in today's match. Sorry for those of you out there that are Skies fans. Instead, in his place, Super from Era will be standing in as the sub today, so we could still technically call them Irrivate, as that still applies, but he'll be playing along with Geo, Gurmy, my man, and Shuttle. And look at these stats. These guys went absolutely bananas. Super involved too. You know, his name's not up here, but he played last week as well. and they kind of went a little bit crazy. Gurmy, I'm not sure what happened. Maybe he didn't see a lot of action, or the rounds that they did get taken out on, he was kind of the last guy left. Not sure how that turned out. But this is definitely a tough team that they're going up against tonight. What do you think?
I mean, never base anything on the stats alone. It is kind of funny seeing the .25 KD on Gurmy, but we all know that that does not represent him in the slightest. You know, he has skill. Everyone on this team has an incredible amount of skill. They just need to work. I'm not sure if they all are going to work together as well as, you know, someone like Flipside, obviously. But it's a powerhouse team, and as long as they at least work together instead of trying to be a star player on their own, they can flush anyone else, you know, out of CCS completely.
Yeah, I agree. They're definitely very, very skilled players. There is absolutely no doubt about them. The overwhelming majority of them are not only Pro League players, but are long-time veterans of Pro League, and they're there for a reason. They're very good performers, and we'll have to see if the fact that this isn't an actual team, just kind of a grouping of players, you know, because we know that they're not practicing. They're not coming up with unique strategies for just this. They're going to be basically running very generic style strategies and kind of relying on their experience, communication skills, and gun skills to take games, to take maps. So we'll have to see how that works out. Now, that being said, let's go ahead and have a look at the starting lineup tonight for Nomads. And Mr. Crazy, if you don't mind, would you do us the honor, please?
Sure. Tonight we're going to have Kaylee, Throw, Euphoria, Sharsh, and Anime playing for Nomads. We've seen all of these players before, and they all can make some incredible plays if they need to. You know, you have three of them, Euphoria, Sharsh, and Anime, both have a positive KD. Kaylee and Throw, not so much, but that doesn't mean that they're bad players. It just means maybe they don't see the action as often, and then when they finally do see the action, maybe it's just someone that it's frequently someone that actually is better than them, and that's why their KDs are suffering a little bit. But even with those low KDs, this is a powerful team. They work with each other rather than on their own. They make these weird plays that the defenders are not ready for frequently, and Sharsh will just come in with an Ash. You won't even know that he's there because he's, you know, army crawling through some barbed wire, and then he just pops up and comes flying around the corner.
You just won't let that go, will you?
No, I mean that was. I thought I honestly was about to grab my controller, like, hey, I'm playing Metal Gear Solid right now, you know. But I mean, it's these unexpected plays that can make a team shine. And so far, no one that they've really gone against has been able to shut down these surprise plays. So I think that's one of the big things that JSG is going to have to do tonight. They're going to have to be ready for some surprises, and they're going to have to react quickly.
Yep, I agree with you. And, you know, last week I called out Callie. Callie was not doing well, and I said, Callie, your team needs you, guy. You're going to have to step up, and you're going to have to make something happen, because when they played Powerhouse at the time was the strongest team that they had gone up against. And I don't know if he was listening or paying attention to what I was saying, but he was the sole factor that they were able to pull it out in that overtime of Map 3 last match. So, Callie, good on you for turning it around and really contributing to your team. You did a fantastic job at the end of that game, and don't think I didn't notice you. I'm not going to call you out and then not notice whenever you do something great, so congratulations for that. That being said, Euphoria and Sharsh, those are the players to watch. I've seen Sharsh win some of the most insane gunfights I've ever seen in Siege, which is saying a lot. I'm an old guy. I've been around for a long time, since beta, and I've seen a lot of Rainbow Six action. And some of the things that he has been able to pull off, I've had to scoop my jaw up off the table here and stick it back on, because he has just been going in and winning so many gunfights, one-on-one gunfights, where he has a little bit older intel, but that doesn't matter because he has the ability to flick around and swing and pop anybody in like a 60-degree field of view. So definitely somebody to watch. Euphoria, he's just a solid player. He is another player that usually comes out on the other side of a gunfight, still alive. And I'll tell you what, he is absolutely earned his KD, if not maybe a little bit more anime, the surprise guy, he's the Blackbeard. He's just been a very solid Blackbeard. He does his job, and that's all you can ask out of your players. You can have the best players in the world on your team, but if they don't do their jobs, you're not going to get very far. And Anime is one of those guys that you can just depend on him to do his job. Throw, same thing. He's been doing his job. He's been doing a little bit of roaming, but he's more of a utility player. And again, he's just been doing his job well. And these guys have come out of nowhere and absolutely taken CCS by storm and are undefeated and number one for a reason. Like you said, they have come and they have proven that, hey, we need to be here.
Yeah, I mean, no team is going to get a 5-0 record unless they really, really want it. You don't just get handed a 5-0 record. You have to work for it. And, we've seen them putting in the work for it so far. And tonight, I think JSG is going to look at them and say, listen, guys, if you want a 6-0 record, we're going to make sure you guys are putting on your sweatpants because they don't want to just hand it to them. They're going to make you fight for it as hard as you possibly can fight. So I'm expecting a really exciting match out of these two teams.
I agree. I absolutely agree. I think that the match is going to be so good that I'm having one of the most difficult times actually calling what I think is going to happen than I've ever had before. I've usually had a pretty good inkling, or at least an instinct. I've done a pretty darn good job of picking it. And I think this is a coin flip. And the thing about it is I don't think it's going to be overtime every map, or even necessarily go to a map 3. I think one of these guys is going to kind of show that they are the alpha, and I think that the other team, is going to, have to work very, very hard to get it back. Well, that being said, we're throwing the bands up on the screen right now as the bands go out. We are still waiting for some team members to get in the game, so we have a little bit of time. I know this is a difficult one, but what do you think JSG is going to need to do to beat the Nomads and vice versa tonight? Because JSG, they're good, they're pros, but I think that the only advantage they have over Nomads is psychological of them being who they were or who they are.
I mean, it's going to come down to JSG working well as a team. Like I said before, some of these guys have played together on it. They play together on a team right now. Obviously, they all know each other, but they don't have that level of practice that you have from a solid team. A single team where you're only playing for that team and you always play with that team. So I think as long as JSG actually meshes together tonight and none of them try to be that star player, they can easily put Nomads, down. They can put them down and get rid of that flawless record that they have right now. But at the same time, it could just come down to the maps. If Nomads has been working on some of those maps that you really need practice on in order to win, where you can't just put in those ranked strats to take a win, then I think Nomads could easily take it as long as they've practiced on those maps. Because JSG, I don't know if they do practice often.
I don't
I
think that
don't
they
know how.
practice. I don't think that they practice this squad. You know what I mean? Of course, they're
Yeah.
both on really good teams, and both of those teams practice relentlessly. But as a squad, as this group of 5, I don't think that that they actually do run custom strats for this team alone.
Yeah, no, and that's not something that we're really expecting from this team. So that's what I'm saying. As long as Nomads wins the ban phase and picks some of these maps where you can't just go to the default strats, then I could easily see Nomads taking this. So hopefully, depending on how this map, the veto goes, this could go either way in the end. If we do see something like Border, Oregon, maybe a clubhouse or a chalet. Those are maps where you play the defaults and you have a solid chance of winning. It comes down to the gunfights as long as you're playing the defaults. But if you're playing a different strat, if you um, if you're trying to work on a custom strat on any of those maps, then it doesn't just come down to the gunfights. So I think that's what's going to determine how this matchup really does go.
Yeah, absolutely. And we apologize for the delay here. One of their teams is having a little bit of a technical difficulty with the bands, but have no fear because Crazy not only is a great caster, but he is also the king of our band sister and the creator of such. And so he has special powers to alleviate any issues that we're having. We're trying to get everybody in as fast as possible because, you know, we do have a timer on our custom game. But that being said, I think I think you made a lot of great points, and that, you know, Nomads clearly has the advantage in the fact that they are a very cohesive squad. They do not change players back and forth, and they've won a lot of good games. The only concern, and my main concern, is that, you know, they had, even though they came out with a win, they had a very difficult time with Powerhouse. And there are some teams, not necessarily JSG because they haven't been in the league that long, but there are some teams around that have quite easily dispatched Powerhouse. So I don't know if it was an off night for Nomads or if that was the toughest team that they had challenged, and we kind of see with that the limitations of their abilities, or a more I guess closely related gauge of their top level of play. But either way, this is not going to be an easy team for either one. And that being said, here comes the first round of bans. Clubhouse followed by Cafe. A couple of maps that we are technically used to seeing. I wouldn't be surprised to see Clubhouse and Skyscraper come here pretty quickly. Hey, Skyhouse, hey, there you go. Ubisoft, pay attention.
Wow, that was a slip of the tongue. Bank is going to be banned now from JSG, another map that you're going to commonly see banned. I think we might end up seeing the Border, Oregon, and Chalet picks here. Unfortunately, you know, maybe Nomads says, hey, let's play Coastline. Unless JSG bans it right now, then I would say that Nomads really has control over whether or not Coastline is going to be in our lineup tonight, because they could pick it or they could leave it to the
Skyscraper. Come on,
There's
Skyscraper.
There's the Coastline ban.
Yeah, I'd love to see Skyscraper.
I think Skyscraper is going to be the next one banned.
Oh, come on, Nomads. You can do it. You're in first place. You can take
Get rid of
map.
Border. Get rid of Border. No more Border.
So now
Chalet.
Now we've got Oregon and Border most likely going to be the first two pick. But fingers crossed that we actually do see Skyscraper. And I wouldn't be surprised if Nomad picks Skyscraper. I wouldn't be. If they didn't ban it with their last ban, they instead banned Chalet. We have a chance to see the Skyscraper, and that would be beautiful. So we'll see what we can do in that terms, as the first pick is going to come out here shortly from JSG. And that being said, I think JSG is having a little bit of an issue with their lineup tonight, so we might see a surprise sub. We'll have to wait and see. JSG pick at Border, no surprise there at all. It's one of those maps, just like Oregon, where you can do a very generic style strat, and for a team that doesn't practice their own unique strategies, and Oregon, unfortunately, leaving Skyscraper as the decider map. I think that Nomads has made a mistake in picking of these maps. And I have just been confirmed by one of our producers that the lineup tonight, Geo will not be playing. The lineup tonight will be Shuttle, Super, Gurmy, my man, but Skies will indeed be playing tonight. So for those of you Skies fans that have left, whoops, we didn't know until right now. We hope you guys come on back. Either way, this is going to be a fantastic matchup. And as we are getting the players into the game, now that we see the maps, again, I think Nomads has made a mistake. They've picked two maps that there are so many generic strats that all of these players are very familiar with running. You know, there's no, like, huge kinks in the armor that could be exploited with these generic strategies, even with the newer operators that have come out. So I was really hoping that maybe Nomads is going to pull something funky on it. Maybe they don't see JSG as that big of a threat, and they've said, okay, we'll go toe-to-toe with you guys, and we'll save the gimmicky stuff for, you know, full-on pro league teams like Flipside and Onslaught.
I don't think JSG has any kind of like gimmicky strats, to be honest. I think
Not gimmicky, but like generic. You know what I mean? Something that's there's not a lot of thought put into it. It's nothing new that we haven't seen before.
yeah, I mean, I think if anything, they are going to go with the generic strats against, you know, regular teams that haven't practiced as much, because even those strats, you know, you have to have a specific, if you're not gonna if you don't know for a fact that you're gonna win the gunfights, then you need to have some sort of planned out attack that gives you an advantage over the defenders, even on those default strats. So I think what JSG is going to do when they end up going against like the pro teams, I don't think they're going to run the default strats. Um, I think when we see a JSG versus Flipside, what they're going to do is they're just going to be as outlandish as possible and try to catch them off guard, because I think that's the best way to really play against a team like Flipside. If you don't have any strats that, you know, you've worked on and you've spent hours practicing and developing,
Mm-hmm.
then the best way to go against a team like Flipside would be to just catch them completely off guard. But even again, a team like Nomads, you know, their best bet might be don't play defaults, just catch them off guard. Like I would like to see on, let's say Oregon, let's say they're playing Laundry.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see just like 4 roamers with one person sitting on Laundry stairs or something like that. I feel like that would catch Nomads off guard, and just make them beyond confused on what to do unless they just immediately decide let's rush construction.
Yeah.
Um, but with a team like Nomads, I don't know how long they've been together as a team, um, but I mean that something like that, just something like that. They could be like, hey, they're all roaming off site. Let's spawn over in, let's spawn on. Why can't I think of it? Junkyard. Let's spawn junkyard, and then
Mm-hmm.
just work our way in from small tower, pick them all off, and then we have site easy peasy.
Yeah.
Which would be a poor decision in that point. It would just be best to go construction and rush right in, get the plant down, and then just hold angles. So it all comes down to, if you're not playing a default strat, it's going to come down to, you know, experience and the in-game leader's calls regarding what to do. But if it is a default strat, then I think what we're gonna see is mostly gunfights, which I think JSG might have the upper hand on here. I would say that they're much more skilled players, and they've got much more experience, and they're much more prepared to win their gunfights against Nomads. Um, so I mean, if that's what we're gonna see with the default strats, then you know, I could see this definitely going in JSG's favor.
Yep, I agree. It's it's definitely going to be a show. Either way, it's going to be a show, and I'm going to do something extremely risky, but they haven't let me down yet, and I am going to take Nomads for the win. I think it's going to take them 3 maps to do it. I just hope that if they get absolutely smashed on one of these maps, that it doesn't get to their head, because we've seen plenty of examples of teams getting crushed on a map, and then they go to the next map and they do the same thing to the team that just beat the crud out of them, right? So with that being said, I'm going to go against you. I'm going to take Nomads, and I feel pretty good about that. I will admit it is a risky pick. Okay, it is certainly not guaranteed, especially after JSG kind of slapped around Onslaught like they did, all things considering. But that's what I'm going to do. And just as I get that information, we are getting into the game right now. We are going into map number 1 on Border Japanese Schoolgirls versus the undefeated Nomads. And here we go.
Yeah, I mean, this first round is going to tell us exactly what we're going to be expecting from Nomads throughout the rest of this map. If they go with kind of a default setup, then I'm not expecting them to have anything special up their sleeves throughout any point, unless, you know, say next second round or second defending round they decide, hey, let's go customs, which I don't think we saw Nomads do before. Um, so I wouldn't expect them to do it again or to do it now. So if it, like I said before, I think if it comes down to these default setups, then I think JSG might just have the upper hand with it. Nomads does, you know, it is a solid team where they always play with this team. They always play with this lineup. They always practice with this lineup. Um, But with these default setups, it does frequently come down to the gunfights. And we do see Habana is going to be the no, they do have Habana and Thermite right now on the attacking side, so they can decide to attack this any way they please. I don't think that Nomads is going to be setting up inside of security now, although with Kaylee reinforcing that exterior wall there, we could see, yeah, and Sharsh heading over there now too. They might just be setting up the mirror window inside of security here. And as I say that, Sharsh puts the reinforcement there to get that mirror wall or mirror window ready to go. So it's going to come down to the CCTV hold here for Nomads. As long as they're able to CCTV very well, then I could see them taking this round rather easily. You know, JSG here is going to have to work towards office, and if they don't, and Super missing his drone there, I think he shook his head a little bit, like, damn it, I messed up. So I think they are going to be going for kind of an office's push here. So that east stairs control is going to be essential for this push. It's essential for any push, but specifically on this one, because if you're pushing in through offices and one of the roamers decides to drop down somewhere else and then just run up the east stairs, they can cut you off completely and, you know, shut you down before you even know what hit you.
Just out of curiosity, where did they put that second mirror? Because I saw the one that they put in CCTV. Where's the
small
other
office?
Mirror? Small office. Okay.
Yep. So this is a pretty standard setup here. You know, a lot of teams have been adapting this now. I think this was posted on YouTube at one point as a setup where you set up the mirror in security. You open up all the walls going into Fountain with a shotgun, and you can just sit there and watch for anyone to try to push in through Fountain. You have a nice angle on the doorway leading into Fountain. So we have seen some teams kind of pick that up and adopt that as their go-to strategy at first, but there are a lot of issues with it. If you need to focus a lot on holding that security side if the attackers decide to go for an armory wall push. But right now, since it looks like JSG is going to be going for a full-on push towards offices here, the defenders that are just sitting in CCTV, they have nothing contesting them. They're just going to sit in there. The JSG has already opened up this wall going into archives, and they've gotten rid of the barbed wire that was blocking the balcony over here. So they just kind of have free reign to walk into sight. But Anime is going to get the first pick of the round with less than a minute left on the timer. My man is going to go down for JSG. That's the Buck. He was going for, I think, some vertical play there. No, he was inside of offices, I guess. And he got taken out. You got rid of some of those grenades. Those grenades can be extremely useful for taking out people that are sitting behind walls. But JSG right now is just taking a really long time to finally push into this site. It looks like Super just pushed into sight, and he's going to get downed as he pushes into sight, and then finished off by Sharsh. Looks like the defenders are really pushing in and pushing back right now. Sky's taking a lot of damage. Gurmy taking out Throw. Sky's is pushed into Fountain. Anime is taking out Gurmy as well now, and Anime is going to get taken out by Skies. Shuttle is sitting on this doorway over here. It is Skies inside of sight with the diffuser. He's going to have to go for the plant soon, but he's going to get downed by Euphoria. Shuttle has to push up now. He just runs in the doorway and gets taken out immediately with Nomads taking round one.
Yeah, Nomads did a fantastic job. They did not get overly aggressive, and the reason why they didn't get aggressive is because JSG was all bunched up outside, and they wasted, they weren't even into the building until there was about a minute 45 left, and even then it was only Ash. So they gathered out a lot of intel that didn't end up getting acted upon, right? It's not like they were downstairs droning for Buck. They were just kind of droning Fountain out. I mean, when there's nobody in there, you got to make something happen. And I think one of the major things that kind of held them back was that mirror that was in CCTV that could see through that. I mean, you've got east stairs control. Why not take that mirror out from down the hall? Make somebody expose themselves to shoot those little mirror pellets off of that. They didn't even end up using the mirror for anything because all they had to do was thermite that wall. So use a little bit of that utility, or maybe go take a couple of guys on the other side and pressure pillbox a little bit, so that way you kind of split that defense up a little. But either way, the teamwork and the strategy of Nomads were, you know, displayed flawlessly. They did a fantastic job, and even though I think they lost some of the gunfights that they should have been winning, because of their unity, they were able to pull that round out. And that was very, very important for Nomads. They kind of established a little bit of dominance and said, listen, we're not just going to be some pushover team that you could come after ranked style and expect to smash us just because you're pros. We're here for a reason. We're #1 for a reason, and we're here to put up a fight.
Yeah, and they did put up a strong fight there. They held very well.
Yeah, and, you know, they did indeed. And I hope that they can carry this trend on attack. You know, defense is one thing. I think defense has a slight advantage on that bomb site. So we'll have to see how they work. And that teamwork is going to be imperative here on attack and border. So hopefully we'll see some active droning for this Ashe. Yes, as we do. In fact, we saw him spot him out. And just as I say that, Anime on the other side of the map gets a nice kill on my man, bringing it to a 5v1, and there's still 2 minutes and 15 seconds left to work with. And he just used that angle in through the dome where we've seen him kill somebody before there that's sitting in Fountain. I'm not sure what that angle is, but whatever it is, that's the second time I've seen Anime pull off a shot like that. So 2 minutes left, 5v4, and, you know, Nomads off to a pretty darn good start.
Yeah, I mean, they will put in work whenever they want to, whenever they need to. And that's one of the things that makes Nomads one of those very special teams that we have in CCS. Sharsh is going to get downed running across here. It was a risky move, and it didn't work out for him, unfortunately. Thankfully, he's not dead, though. Down, but not out. That's what it's called, actually, DBNO. And Gurmy is actually going to get downed as well, as his Mira gets opened from below and by Hibana charges. I mean, they are just putting everything onto that Mira window. There was not much Gurmy could do there. Euphoria is going to be down below. I don't know, I guess he didn't hear Gurmy getting picked up, but Throw is going to take out Shuttle somewhere else on the map as Euphoria gets ready to open up this hatch in the small office. Some drones going into sight a little bit late. Sharsh playing down below, trying to pick people off if they're still trying to peek that Mira hole. Or not a Mira hole anymore, it's a Hibana hole now, which would be a major mistake from the defenders. Ooh, the top of Mira's head. Them shaving the head a little bit there, shaving the head. It was risky. That was a huge risk from Mira. Skies is going to take out Euphoria now, putting it to a 3v4. And I think the defenders are kind of going to start focusing a little bit more on this army wall now. They've realized that this is what the attackers are going for. They've realized, hey, we need to stop them from pushing in here. Skies is going to open up himself a little kill hole there as Ashe, Throw actually is going to take out Gurmy, and Ashe is starting to push in towards site. Sharsh, Throw, and Cali are all pushing into sight, and Skies peeks it, but he gets downed. Super is going to take out Sharsh as he tries to push up to finish off Skies. Throw is going to be on the outside of that wall. Cali gets taken out, but Throw takes out Super, and Skies was already down, so the round is going to go to Nomads.
Skies just missed the opportunity to end it right there. Nobody was looking at him. He had the SMG-11. I'm not sure what the hesitation was. Perhaps he didn't reload it from before and he ran out of bullets. I don't know. But Skies absolutely should have had that. Now, he wasn't expected to play. He had to come back in at the last minute, so he's probably shaking off some cobwebs. But what a missed opportunity for Skies. It absolutely should have been 1-1 right now. But Nomads, they did not hesitate to get all over and take advantage of a mistake by the other team, and right now, winning their first defense and their first attack, they were off to a very good start, and JSG is probably saying, okay, boys, what do we do now?
Yeah, I mean, they need to adapt and overcome if they're really going to take this match. JSG has to change what they're doing on their attacking side this time. We can't see all of them on one side. We need to see them doing something to really flush out any of the roamers. We're going to see a heavy upstairs play right now from Nomads. That's how you hold this site. You hold upstairs. You can hold that hatch that's inside a small office there and stop someone coming in from main hallway. You can open up holes in the floor behind half wall, and you can stop someone from jumping in through that B window. So upstairs is just the position of choice for most of the teams that you'll see when they're playing on this bomb site. So, I mean, JSG just needs to flush out everyone that's playing upstairs quickly. They cannot I think they were still outside of the building on their last attacking round. There was like 40 seconds left in the round, and they were still outside. That cannot be happening. So they just need to learn from what they're doing and change it. They can't keep doing the same thing over and over again, and which already we're seeing they're not, because my man is actually inside already. Not even 2 minutes, not even at the 2 minute marker yet, and he's inside, so that's good. That's an improvement that we're seeing from them, and it's a small one, but that's what you need to make. You need to make the changes quickly, because you can come into a map completely unprepared, but then quickly learn how the other team has decided to play it, adapt, outplay, and overcome, just by changing what you're doing on the fly. And I think that the team, they may not practice together as often, but they are very versatile players. So adapting shouldn't be too difficult for them. It should be something that they're able to do, that they're ready to do. And already we see my man taking out Kaylee, and then Euphoria can. Oh, you see him, my man. Oh, he shoots his leg instead of his face. An unfortunate decision there for my man, but Euphoria is very low on health now, and my man is actually starting to push into sight. But then he just turns his back, and Euphoria takes him out, putting it to a 4v4. It's mistakes like that you cannot be making as an Ash. Yeah, you rushed into
and
sight.
with an ACOG versus no optical zoom of any kind. Sorry to cut you off there.
No, it's all good.
Euphoria, a fantastic job escaping, juking back and forth a couple of times, coming up behind him when he had to do the reload. I mean, just a fantastic job, and a big mistake by Ash. Obviously, sometimes it can be difficult for the players to see. They don't have the nice outlines. It's very obvious to us. But I just love how Euphoria took advantage of that situation.
Yeah, I mean, I wished my man had gotten that headshot there, though. Unfortunately, that would have been a beautiful angle. We saw Hot and Cold get a shot like that during the last game. It's Sharsh. He's gonna peek his head around the corner. He's gonna get taken. Super, who's going to drop in on his site. Euphoria is going to peek it wide and get taken out as well. It's a 4v2 right now. Super, once he got on the site here, he just decided to start cleaning house, but Throw is going to push upstairs and take out Shuttle. So that's Diffuser down upstairs now. It is a 2v2, but then Super is going to take out Throw. Anime still standing around upstairs. He's by the hatch. He has the Diffuser down. He takes out the drone that's watching him inside of Fountain.
But does he know the Diffuser's there? Yeah.
I think he saw it for sure, and Super's just going to push in, and Anime just missing his shots get taken out immediately by Super.
That was disappointing to see him lose that gunfight. He was in a fantastic situation, but on the flip side, I do love how JSG wasted absolutely no time. They decided he's upstairs, the Diffuser's upstairs, let's go get him. And they didn't hesitate. They didn't come around that corner slow peek and check in every angle. They knew where he was. They knew he was defending that diffuser, and they pushed right through there, and he wasn't ready for somebody to come plowing through that door so quickly after he knew both of them were downstairs. And took him by surprise that he couldn't land the shots. And JSG gets the first round of the map, and hopefully JSG, for their sake, can kind of take this little bit of momentum and keep it coasting to bring it back a little bit.
I mean, they did exactly what I was saying they had to. They adapted, and they played completely differently. They walked right inside this time. They went in quickly. They established themselves upstairs. They took full control of it, and then once they had upstairs control, Super just dropped into site and started doing work. He took out 2 people on that site just like that. It was like nothing to him, like cutting through butter. Their one mistake that almost cost them the round was they were not watching for a flank. They didn't have a Claymore in position. They didn't have a player in position watching for someone to come up from a stairwell. And it almost cost them. It did bring it down pretty close to a 2v2. And then they did get a kill onto the Ella that laid down next to the hatch for some unknown reason.
Well, I think she was down, actually. I think she was down.
Was she?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I saw the shots going on her. I guess maybe she was down.
Yeah, she had just been in a gunfight with somebody, and I think she came out of the other end of it as down but not out.
Yeah. Okay, so, but still, that's an unfortunate loss for the defenders after they pulled off an amazing flank like that. And then Super, I gotta say, good reaction there. I mean, he started running past the Jaeger, didn't realize the Jaeger was there. Jaeger missed his shots, and then Super just decided, oh wait, let me just lean this way. And the second he leaned to his left, he just got an immediate headshot on Jaeger and finished up the round.
Yeah.
Just shut it down like it was nothing. Sorry, go ahead.
Absolutely. No, I was just going to say fantastic job for them. And here we see Ash and Ella trading some bullets here. And, oh, let's see if they can finish it off. Nope, just some bullets going back and forth. Both of them about half health. And, you know, JSG switching their tactic up a little bit, now holding CCTV, which they gave to Nomads uncontended. And I think Nomads kind of thought that hey, let's just traipse in here exactly the same way we did last time. And now that that hasn't worked, they have not yet devised a new strategy about what they're going to do. That being said, here comes Anime over to the other side on ventilation to do what Blackbeard does. And in the meantime, a jump out, no good, as Callie says, sit down, sir. And now we're at a 5v4, although some people are a little bit on the hurt side on the Nomad squad. And yeah, I mean, a minute and 19 left, 5v4. And a beautiful shot coming in from Anime, doing his work over on ventilation, cutting off that rotation. And now we'll see if they take advantage and start pushing forward and stop just hanging out on that balcony. This is the time they need to do it.
I mean, Sharsh has already pushed into sight. I think they realize now that they have a bit of map control here. Shuttle taking out Euphoria, and then Throw taking out Gurmy, putting it to a 4v2. Neither of the defenders are on site right now. One is downstairs. Shuttle actually gets taken out, and it's all down to my man now, who is downstairs. He's on that pulse. He can... I think he already used his C4. No, there's the C4. He's going to take out Throw, but the diffuser has been planted. So it is 3 defenders now watching the angles, watching for my man to try to push up onto site. Blackbeard being out on that AC balcony. The flash is coming out. My man completely blinded in the hallway here. Callie is just sitting on the east stairs here, and he's going to peek out and take him down.
Yeah, fantastic job by Callie getting that opening pick. Fantastic job by Euphoria. And a kind of a lucky break for them. I don't know if it would have mattered so much, but kind of a lucky break that they did get that diffuser planted right before that C4 came out. Because if not, that could have wasted some crucial time, allowing that rotation to come back upstairs. But either way, they put it down, they spread out, covered their angles, and another fantastic round as now Nomads is up 3-1, shutting down the only round win from JSG and saying, you know, we're not going to let you get on a roll. And it was a great job. And JSG so far unsuccessful in their defense, and Nomads successful in 1 defense and 2 attack rounds. And so now it's kind of flipped to the other side where I said, you know, the defenders kind of had an advantage. But so far we've seen attackers take the overwhelming majority of these matches.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about how quickly you attack, though. And we saw JSG during their first attacking round, they were extremely slow. They took so long to finally get into sight that it cost them in the end. And then when we see them finally speed up their attack, that's when they perform and they're able to. I think they took an attacking round so far, right?
Yeah, they took their only one was the last round before the Nomads just won that, which was attack.
Yeah, and they pushed in quickly that round.
And split, so I might add, and they were split up.
Yeah, they did pinch. That's one of the things that a lot of teams forget is that if you're pushing in through one doorway and you're not watching another one, the defenders will probably run through that other one and kill you. If you have no way of shutting down the rotations, then the defenders still have a lot of control over this map. So it's extremely dangerous for the attackers to really focus on one spot to push from. We saw Kronos doing that a lot during their match earlier, and it cost them dearly. But they learned from that, and now I think JSG is going to learn again. They are working a little bit, I wouldn't say in teams right now. The drone on Throw there is going to give some nice advantage towards trying to get this east stairs control, but Throw is just going to push up on it, and he's actually going to get the kill onto Buck and drop down the stairwell here, and he's just going to run away. My man getting taken out. Anime and Throw both on the roam right here as JSG is working on getting this east stairs control, and there is still someone from JSG sitting inside of offices. I believe that's the Mira that's in there right now. With 2 roamers, or no, 1 roamer downstairs, and Anime actually just came back upstairs. So they're all upstairs now. They got the first kill over near that east stairs now, so they're like, okay, let's give them a little bit more control. Let's make them think they can push in here okay, but Gurmy is going to get the Claymore on a throw there. That's unfortunate for him.
Yeah, that's one of the first major mistakes that I've seen Nomads make. And so they get a pick. They know that they've injured them. They've got a player advantage, and just unneeded aggression. I think that was unneeded aggression. And because of that greed, there goes Throw, who was riding that wave of getting an amazing early pick onto JSG, and now that kind of gets shut down as everybody resumes taking their positions and playing their roles. And sorry to cut you off there. I was just disappointed to see him jump out at that door. So we'll have to see. Yeah, we'll have to see if JSG can capitalize on shutting down maybe that early hype that they got from getting that pick.
Yeah, I think JSG is they're just getting comfortable here in offices now. They have that east stairs control, although I think they might just have given it up. Maybe they have a Claymore there. Hopefully they have a Claymore there to do something about it. But now they're going for the attack on the offices, or on the archive side over here. They're throwing in grenades. They're pushing in. Skies is going to go for this plant. Valkyrie is, or no, not Valkyrie. Someone was sitting right on the other side of that wall there, and the kill does come out. Euphoria taking out Skies. You know, with the smoke shotgun. So now he's just going to toss up those smoke canisters, and there's really almost no way that JSG can take this round. Although Anime did take out Gurmy, Super took out Anime, Euphoria is down, but being picked up by a teammate possibly. Shuttle is going to go for the plant. Super's going to take out Kaylee. It's a 2v2 right now. Sharsh is downstairs. Euphoria is downed. So as I was saying, I don't think the attackers can take this. They're taking it. Smoke went for a wide peek and got taken out. Euphoria finally gets knifed, so Super took him out. And it's all down to Sharsh now. He has to push in on Amira. That is a one-speed operator, very loud, and Super's just going to shut him down as he's coming up those main stairs. I mean, Smoke just had to keep putting his canisters up on top of that diffuser, shutting down the push onto it, and he would have been fine, but he stood up and got punished.
Yeah, I semi-agree with you there. And they kind of made you eat your words there, by the way. Wink, wink. Saying there's probably no way that they
as I was talking about it, they're just like, nope.
Yeah, you know, Smoke, he was in kind of a pickle, and I try to put myself in their shoes when I'm being critical of somebody. And, you know, he was throwing the gas out. They knew he was there. Skies absolutely called out that he was there. And so, you know, when those bullets start flying through the wall, I agree with him getting behind that metal cover that was, you know, just one kind of spot back from where he was. And he got the smoke out to cover where the diffuser was, and he threw it right. The problem is he saw the bullets coming from another angle through the wall too, which could only be coming from a ventilation window. And so instead of returning fire, because he knew that he had just killed the guy planting and the diffuser was still over there, he decided to try and throw one of those smoke bags over towards that window too, which I think was a mistake. I think he should have returned fire to the guy at the window or remained behind that little metal cover and kept chucking smoke over at the diffuser. So, you know, I think we do both agree that Smoke made a mistake there, but I think that we disagree on what mistake he made. And that's, again, I mean, when it's in the heat of the moment, it's very difficult to sometimes kind of use that much thought process. You know, it's easy for us. We get a couple of seconds, 30 seconds or whatever to think about it. But I don't think it was a horrible mistake. And I think at the end there, it came down to gunfights once that was off the board. And JSG came out the other end being the winner of more gunfights than Nomads was.
Yeah, I mean, you are right that it was mostly the gunfights there, but the diffuser did start to go down with less than 30 seconds left. And when you have all three smoke canisters, you should be able to shut down a whole doorway. But opening up this round, Gurmy with a C4 from below onto Sharsh. We've seen Sharsh putting in a lot of work on that Ash, and suddenly he's gone immediately. I mean, they just hit the 2-minute marker, and he got taken out from below. That's got to be throwing Nomads for a spin right now. They have to figure out what they're going to do about that pulse down below, because if he's allowed to keep sitting down there, he can wreak havoc on this team.
Yeah, I agree. It's very bad to get your entry fragger picked off from underneath, not even putting any damage, not even getting any intel on, you know, that could be useful for the team to pick up a refrag or something like that. he's just gone. And unfortunately, that's one of their best fraggers off the board. You know, it's still quite a bit of time left, but it's going to be hard coming back from that. And another beautiful C4 by Skies, and that is 2 players off the board and 0 damage thrown out. But Throw pushes into sight, gets a beautiful double kill, turns it back to 3v3. He just said, hey, I'm going in, guys. Surprise, picks up a 3rd kill. He's going bananas. Can he get a 4th? No, he gets shut down. It's now a 2v2, though, as the attackers take it down to a 2v1, and they might get the bomb down. I don't know.
I mean, at this point, they have to put that diffuser down. Super is not in a position to deny the plant. He's pushing in through the small offices here, and Anime did just spot him out. So Blackbeard now, you have to challenge that Blackbeard, which can be costly. However, when you are playing Ela, you have this, as I'm saying that, he does get taken out by a headshot from Anime. It looks like he did break the shield, though. That was what I was going to say, though, is the SMG is a very high rate of fire that can take out a Blackbeard if you challenge it properly, but Anime just said no way and completely shut him down.
Look, Anime did fine, but Throw. Let's talk about Throw. What an amazing, aggressive play that caught JSG completely off guard. Fantastic job, almost getting the 4K in just a few seconds. What an exciting couple of seconds coming out from the Thatcher, no less. To say, hey guys, you can be C4 in us, but you know, if you're going to get a numbers advantage on us, we're going to flip a coin and go for the risky play. And in this case, it paid out big time.
Yeah, I mean, I never thought I'd see a Thatcher entry fragger, but that was beautiful from him. They didn't even have time to react to it, and then by the time they did get to react to it, the person reacting to it got shut down. The first person to try to respond there jumped in through the window into small offices and got obliterated, just barrel stuffed. So that was a massive play that definitely gave the round to Nomads. So very well played from him. I'm expecting to see that in the highlight reel.
Absolutely.
I mean, JSG, it's going to be hard to come back from something like that. Yeah, you've got some rounds, you can land the kills, but that is pretty demoralizing when you have a Thatcher entry fragging you.
You know, the way that it's looking, we got Nomads on map point, a unbelievably exciting round. You know that squad in voice chat was going crazy when all that was happening. And so they are definitely riding this wave of euphoria. That comes with what? That comes with
the puns.
Well, that's it. It was an unthought of pun. You know, it ended up being a pun, and you know what? I don't think it was because Euphoria wasn't really participating in that kill streak. But that being said, I mean, they're gonna have that you know, good juice, let's call it, pumping through their veins. And let's see if they can carry it on. They have to be a little bit patient on defense. Unfortunately, they can't just go out and start doing crazy stuff like Throw did on the last game, but we'll have to see. And I think this is this angle that Anime's been using. No, I'm still curious what that angle is. We're going to have to figure out what that is. There's some way that he's able to peek in there. Did he do some damage?
That was the grenade that just did a lot of damage to Throw from Skies.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, you know, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that if Nomads plays their cards right, they can take the round right now as Throw is getting reset.
I mean, JSG has to do what they did before on their attacking round that they won, where they play quickly, and they win those gunfights very early on, and I don't think they really need to focus on flushing out the roamers as long as they can make the roamers have to come back to site. But my man is going to take out Anime as I'm talking about that, and then Throw just does get spotted by Shuttle. And now he's laying prone behind that wall there, I think. Maybe he'll smack a hole in there and try to shoot Shuttle. But not likely. I mean, he's just playing it safe, spinning around in there, doing a little dance, shaking a little thing. Get down tonight as Shuttle gets downed.
God.
But, you know, they're taking a long time to really push in here. Yeah, it's a 5v4, and Throw is very low on health yet again. But you've got 50 seconds left. You're not inside yet. You've got 3 people just running into each other on that east balcony. Twitch does push in behind Kaylee. Unknown. Gurmy takes out Kaylee on that mirror window here. And now he's going to be able to play that. Super taking out Throw, putting it to a 5v2. So yes, they took a long time to push into here. They do have 30 seconds left in the round, but they are just landing these shots like it's nothing. Sharsh finally shutting down Super. And he's sitting here inside of Armory. He has to try to take out Shuttle, but Shuttle gets the plant down. And I think Gurmy might just come in from CCTV and shut down Sharsh. But it looks like they're making the smart decision here. JSG is sitting here watching angles. They're not picking fights. They're waiting for the fights to come to them. And they're going to take this round. It's just all about win. Sharsh throwing that C4 there and just looking at the floor. I think he thought he was done for,
yeah.
But he wasn't. But he does peek Skies, and Skies gets the headshot to shut him down.
Yeah, that was an overwhelming take there at the end for JSG, and it all started to fall apart. Not necessarily when it was a 5v4, but when they came in and they got that easy free kill onto, was it Bandit or Jaeger that was sitting there on that mirror on CCTV? Either way,
Bandit.
Yeah, they just gave him that free kill. There was nobody watching his back. You can't be in a position like that. You can't be in a position where you're that exposed off of the bomb site, right? It was very sloppy. And when he became isolated in that room, he should have given up on it or released it, over to the attackers, rotated back down on the site. He had that hatch there to drop down. Just get out of there. You cannot watch the hallway, the door, the window, and the pillbox door and the mirror all at the same time. So that was a free kill to them, and it didn't slow them down at all. And it's times like that where you have to realize that you're not going to be doing anything good for your team just standing there. The second they know that you're in there, they're going to come and get you, probably from multiple angles. And in this case, they didn't even need it. He just ran in there, la-da-da, shot him. That was it. And now it was a real numbers advantage, giving JSG the green light to go in, balls to the wall, and just take out the rest of the team.
Yeah, I mean, they were shutting them down like it was nothing. Nomads did not stand much of a chance in the fights at the end there. Every time, my one critique about that mirror hold in CCTV is that you need to put multiple people in CCTV so one person can watch the mirror window and have his back covered. And they had one person in CCTV without his back covered. And that's the only downfall of that hold there. And I mean, they just took advantage of that. They walked right in, took him out, and were ready for it. So moving in here, though, Nomads is still on match point. If they do take this one, then that is going to be the first map going to them. I'm hoping that they kind of shut it down now. If they want to show JSG that they're not going to give up.
There's that angle. Thank you, camera guy. I appreciate it. And yeah, you could see right in there.
Yeah, that is a nice angle. You get a nice little peek there. You can see people's heads and just take them out as they're trying to run around. But I think Gurmy is aware of this, and he's just kind of sitting in a safer spot right now.
Yeah, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, or shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. He's not going to let that happen again from that spot. And that being said, a minute 40 left. Nomads working around, trying to gather some intel, but not making a very quick push. That being said, here comes the wall crawl that you absolutely love. I'll let you take it from here.
I mean, Sharsh. I mean, we're playing Metal Gear Solid now. Sharsh is just crawling into here. He could pop up at any second. I'm flying around this, and he does. He pops up and takes out my man.
Now you're eating your
I
words.
was talking about this before. I wasn't going to let it down before, and now I'm definitely not going to let it down. And then Sharsh almost downs himself with the Ash breaching charge as Gurmy takes down Throw. It is a 4v3 right now. Sharsh was not able to open up that wall next to Fountain so that he could try to push in and take out somebody that was sitting there on B. And now there is someone in position in break room that actually just got shut down. Gurmy getting taken out, putting it to a 4v2. It's Sky and Shuttle, or Skies and Shuttle right now that are both left trying to defend this site. I'm not sure quite where Skies is sitting, but Shuttle is going to be sitting in the other site. Skies taking out Kaylee. It is a 3v2 now. Skies was down below, or maybe he just dropped down below. It's Blackbeard, Sledge, and Ash. Euphoria is going to be coming up this east stairwell here. He's going to peek and take out Skies, leaving it all down to Shuttle. Shuttle's going to have to pull something crazy right here. He has to stop the diffuser from getting placed, but he's not really going to be able to peek it as Blackbeard is sitting here watching him. Euphoria is in the hallway watching for the cross. Sharsh does get taken down, but then Anime repeaks it and takes down Shuttle.
Nomads taking map number 1 and showing that it is not a fluke that they are in first place. This I would very well consider to be the toughest team that they have played against so far yet in CCS. And I wouldn't say that they heftily took it, but they took it, and they took it convincingly. That was not a fluke. That was not a coin flip. They showed that they deserve to take map 1 here at Border.
I mean, they fought for it. Anime up there with those 10 kills. Super actually had 12 kills, though. So Super was putting in a lot of the work for JSG. But a hard-fought battle from both teams there. Beautifully played. I liked seeing JSG adapting their attack in just the way that they needed to. Unfortunately, you know, Nomads just had the upper hand there, and they ended up taking it. So, you know, well fought from both teams.
I agree. Well, with that, we'll be taking a very short break. Stick around. We'll be back with map number 2 in just a couple of minutes. Stay here. Welcome back, everybody. Sorry for making you wait there, but we are back. The teams are ready to go. Nomads taking map number 1 on Border, and what a map it was. What do you think about what we just saw? And have your plans, have your predictions for what's going to happen coming up changed at all based off of what we just saw?
Well, I would say that my prediction at the beginning said that it could go either way depending on if they're running default strats. And so far, what we've seen from Nomads is not necessarily, you know, default style strats on their defense. They did have that Mira sitting inside of CCTV a few times. You know, that's not necessarily a default strat. And because of that, they did end up taking it, I would say. They weren't just playing it like they're playing ranked. So it takes a lot more work for JSG to really be able to... we're in the map now, by the way. It takes a bit more for JSG to really adapt to it and play it different than ranked. They don't have, you know, preset strategies to counter any of these other defenses. So as long as you're not running something default, you will have the upper hand on JSG because they have to figure out on the fly how they're going to attack it rather than already having an organized plan. Right. So I mean, I could still see Nomads, you know, taking this map too, as long as they play a little bit different than default.
So here's the thing about this map, is it's a little bit smaller, there's a little bit less elbow room on defense for roamers, and it's kind of more generic. You know, we see it played so often here, Pro League, Challenger League, Go For It, you name it. This map happens all the time. So there's not really much that can happen here that's going to surprise anybody. And so that being said, I think Japanese schoolgirls on this particular map will be able to set up something that doesn't necessarily need to be practiced because it's just part of, and a beautiful shot there by my man. But anyways, it's something that I think Japanese schoolgirls will have the advantage on this map because it's not as generic. And Throw turning around and pistol headshotting the aggression from my man and shutting him down real quick and saying, hey, you might have gotten the first pick, but we're not going to let you just run around and do that. Super getting low as he gets sprayed a little bit through the wall, working around on his, and Euphoria takes him down. So now we're right back to a 4v3, right as I was beginning to talk about why JSG might have an advantage, not only on this map, but especially on this particular bomb site.
They do still have Gurmy on the rotate, though. He is sitting up here inside of kids' dorms with the hatch open. I don't think Nomads realizes it. They don't have any drones upstairs. They don't have any kind of pressure going upstairs. You know, so Gurmy is just sitting up here. He's watching for someone to try to walk into, I think, meeting hall there. Throw is going to be sitting inside of Armory now on a drone. Callie at the bottom of White Stairs and Anime there as well. The Blackbeard goes down. Callie taking a lot of damage. You can't be losing a Blackbeard to a mute. What is going on? Throw finally shuts down Gurmy. It's a 3v2 now. But that Blackbeard is down, so it's going to be a bit harder for them to hold from this hatch if they do go for the plant. Skies does push up the stairs and get shut down by Euphoria. It's all down to Shuttle now for JSG. He's sitting inside of that closet behind his mirror window, ready to try to take people out. He does not have the nitro cell, so if they get up on that laundry machine and go for the plant, or if they sit next to the laundry machine and go for the plant, it's going to be a lot harder for him to shut it down. They're breaking that barbed wire so they can run in. Kaylee is now on top of that laundry machine going for the plant. Shuttle has realized that he's going to walk in through the closet here, but he's going to get shut down by Euphoria from above.
That was a beautiful move by Mute. Unbelievable that he was able to take out the Blackbeard, flip around, and start almost taking out, I mean, it was just for a bunch of missed shots, the Hibana, right? He actually just ran out of bullets. He was able to turn the corner, and they were pre-firing, by the way. They heard him running. They pre-fired him running out. So the fact that he was able to get out there, empty a clip, and come back inside with still life, left to live, blows my mind. That being said, it was mistakes on both of their parts. Lots and lots and lots of missed shots on both sides. Once that Blackbeard was going down and that Hibana could not control the recoil of her gun because he blew through that doorway all the way across to the other side. And so Hibana had started to pre-fire. And that gun that she carries has a very small clip and has a very high rate of fire. So she had run out of bullets, and instead of switching to her other weapon, she decided to hightail it out of there, which I think eventually ended up in saving her life. But a lot of missed shots back and forth there. Mute, I would have loved to have seen him get that double kill there, but he just couldn't pull it out. And because of that and a couple of other key kills, Nomads was able to take round one pretty heftily.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very smart move from Euphoria to start pushing up behind the Mute from Armory. I would say that's the reason they were able to get the trade-off in the end. And this is one of the things that I'll say quite frequently is you need to pinch the defenders. You need to make sure that you split their aim, because when you don't split their aim, something like what just happened will happen, where you lose a Blackbeard and almost lose a Hibana, or maybe, in the future, they'll just lose both of them. Because you don't have someone pushing up behind him. But, he did push up behind and get the kill, so that was a beautiful play from him, and they did take the round very beautifully, especially when Skies just decided to run up the stairwell for some reason. Another, mistake that they did capitalize on. And now we see this hatch not being reinforced, so Hibana doesn't have to use her utility on it, or... they only have the Hibana, so that's their only breacher. It's nice to make them have to waste some utility, but now they might have the ability to open up some of these walls. Yeah, see, they're going to be opening up some of these walls going into meeting, because they can just use someone else to open up that hatch now. So yes, you're playing in meeting room. Yes, you're kind of, delaying quite a bit. You're making them have to play differently than just, pushing towards site, but you're not making the Hibana use her utility elsewhere. If you make the Hibana open up the hatches, you make it so Hibana has to open the hatches, she can't open up the meeting walls, and then you have that much more of an advantage. So I don't know, this round could go either way. We are at 1 minute and 5 seconds. No one has died on either team. There's a lot of effort going into flushing these guys out of meeting hall. And then Euphoria is still downstairs. He's just sitting there ready to throw his smoke canister when he needs to. Throw is going to get droned out by the Twitch, tagged up just a tiny bit. It's only 10 damage. Anime is going to drop back down onto site. It looks like some of the defenders are really just kind of going for the site plays now. Anime taking out Gurmy from the hallway. My man taking out Throw. So, this is a 4v4. The trades are going back and forth. 1 minute left in the round. This could go either way. Sharsh going to push up, take out Super. Kaylee taking out Skies as well. It's down to my man and Shuttle. Both of them upstairs right now. The diffuser has not been planted.
Oh, beautiful.
Meeting hall has not been flushed, but my man is going to come around the corner, take out Kaylee. Shuttle's going to peek in through that hatch as my man is getting ready to go downstairs. Sharsh getting downed from above. Picked up. I think he was reset maybe. So my man is going to go for the plant now. The smoke canister is going to come out. He has to stick this plant if they want to take the round, but it looks like he's going to get downed with the diffuser being planted, but then immediately they both get shut down, and Nomads is going to take the round.
Beautiful work by Nomads. JSG had a chance to bring it back, got that diffuser on the ground, that beautiful SMG-11 kill on that Jaeger, or Bandit, I don't know which one. I get them mixed up when I see them real quick flash across the screen. But Nomads just taking control. They did exactly what they did on the last map. They won their first defense, they won their first attack, and they put their foot down and said, we, sir, or we, JSG, are not a team that you should be messing with. We're number one, we're undefeated, and now we're here for a reason, and I am very impressed with what Nomads has done here today. That being said, Throw, beautiful kill, hopping out the window like that and getting that pistol kill. I think, or was that last round?
That was last round.
I'm still thinking about it, Throw.
That was impressive. That was impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, he baited out the chase and
Absolutely.
just shut it down.
I've just been watching the Throw show, okay? It's fresh in my mind. But either way, Nomads, fantastic job, JSG. A little bit of life there towards the end, getting it down to a 3v2. Just couldn't finish it off, having to kind of stall out and get the bomb down. And no cover from his teammate upstairs.
Yeah, I mean, it gets rough though, because when you're upstairs, not only do you have to watch for when it's two people left and you're upstairs, not only do you have to watch for people trying to come from that hallway or trying to push from that closet, you have to watch for a flank as well. And I think it was the flank that ended up finishing him off. They were not able to flush them out of meeting hall. You know, Nomads just held meeting hall that entire round. So that was really well played from them, sitting up in that meeting hall. I believe you said in the past that that's not a style of play that we see as frequently anymore, but we did see it. We saw it work out beautifully for them, so I definitely could see Nomads, you know, just using that again in the future.
Yeah, you know,
especially after it worked so well.
Yeah, you know what? This last season, I think for the first time in Siege, I think we've seen the least established cookie cutter meta that we've ever seen, right? So it wasn't every single team doing exactly the same team with small variants here and there. I think there are a lot of viable options, and I think there are a bigger variety of operators that are getting picked, right? And so with that, you know, even though we don't see meeting it as much, that doesn't necessarily make it a less viable hold, especially against a team that's going to be playing more of a rank style, because unlike Nomads, we've touched on this before, JSG isn't running practices and developing strategies, you know, specifically for CCS.
Yeah, I mean, that's those meeting holds have to be practiced. You can't just be like, hey, you two, go hold meeting. It's not going to work like that. You have to know exactly what you're doing. You have to be prepared for certain pushes, for certain things to happen. So that's one of those strategies that maybe some of the less established teams won't practice as often and won't be prepared to try to do. So Nomads, seeing them pull it off that beautifully, I mean, it was almost a flawless hold from them. You know, it means they've practiced it a lot. They've practiced it frequently. They know exactly what they had to do, and they were just ready to execute that like it was nothing. We are moving in on the attack, though, now. A minute left in the round. Nobody has fallen yet. Gurmy has taken a little bit of damage. So we see that echo on Gurmy right now. This is one thing I want to note. Since we're seeing that echo, if they wait too long to push in, that yokai could cost them the round. He can just stop you from planting, and if he stops you from planting and the clock runs out, then that's game over for you. So now Ella is going to be trapped, I think, in bunker here. He does try to peek. Shuttle getting a C4 onto Kelly. Thatcher is going to be pushing in behind the Ella, but Sharsh is just going to push into this hallway, take out Super. My man gets taken out as well, and Sharsh just has full control right now. Shuttle is going to be going to peek around, getting some damage onto Sharsh, but he gets taken down, and Sharsh is going to push towards here, and he's going to get the double kill to finish it.
Beautiful job by Sharsh. That is the Sharsh that we know and love. Absolutely crazy with the Ash. Zero concern for his personal safety as he goes in and clears out the entire site. And that was at least a 4K coming out from Sharsh. Wonderful job, and I'm very excited that this Nomad team has more than one playmaker that have been showing up to this match tonight. This is exactly what they needed, and now they're up 3-0 versus some of the most recognizable pro R6 players in the game.
I mean, Sharsh just went in. The second he dropped that hatch, he rushed straight into the hallway, and he was confident that his teammate was watching for that Ella behind him. I believe the Ella was in bunker still. Thatcher went for the flank on the Ella. So while Ella was distracted there, Sharsh just said, you know what? I'm just going to close this out. He dropped in, ran straight through the hallways, ran straight into the site, and he just cleaned house like it was nothing. It was like cutting through butter. And that's a beautiful thing to see when one person is just able to clear out an entire team like that. I mean, nobody from JSG was prepared to fight that.
Yeah, yeah. While we have a little bit of time, I wanted to give a shout out to Tyler V, who submitted a donation for $40. He said, "Rip reverse, power still bad, lots of hearts." Tyler, we thank you so much for the donation, and I'm sorry I missed it on Friday. As you guys know, CCS is a community-run league that is self-funded, and all of the staff members are volunteers. So, should you have it in your heart to drop a donation like Mr. Tyler V and his generosity, there is a donate button located right below our screen in Twitch tonight. All of that money goes towards our prize pool and towards CCS production. So, Tyler, thank you so much. And all of you who have supported CCS throughout the season, we thank you very much. My man's starting this round off with taking out Anime, and now they're up underneath the bomb site, ready to get started, opening up that ceiling.
I mean, they're just going for full control downstairs right now. They don't have the Blackbeard, so they're not going to really position a Blackbeard outside of the big window. So I think their main game right now is take control of the first floor, drone people out above, and then maybe, you know, as you ping them, someone from down below can flush them out, or, you know, even just droning them will scare them. Or my man with that beautiful grenade, you know, almost getting a kill there, but they ran away. Oh, he's watching that doorway, puts a few shots into Euphoria. No, I think the shots did miss in the end, unfortunately. So they're going for this vertical play, but they don't have a buck. So that makes it a bit harder for them to really open up a ceiling. Buck would definitely be a huge advantage here because they could just use his shotgun to open up everything that is above them and make sure that they can see anyone and everyone. So Shuttle now is going to be outside on this big window here. He's going to spray through that bed a little bit, try to flush people out. Gurmy taking out Throw, but a C4 coming out and taking out Shuttle. But then Mira runs in front of the window, gets shut down by Super. Not the smartest move there, but a move that was made nonetheless.
Yeah,
so now Gurmy...
An interesting decision to run up to that window after you got the C4 kill. Unnecessary aggression on her part.
Yeah, I mean, it's poor decisions like that can cost you a round, but that Ash charge flushed Euphoria out of that corner, and then Skies shut him down, and then Kaylee pushing up the white stairwell here is going to take out Skies. It is a 1v3. They know where he is. Kaylee's going to come around, or my man is going to come around the corner and shut down Kaylee. So now JSG has taken their first round for this map. Let's see if they can keep that momentum moving.
Yeah, JSG systematically dismantling the Nomads defense upstairs to claim their first round on this map on Oregon, and reminding the Nomads that, hey, you're up 3-0, but it ain't over yet. And they did a fantastic job. Split push, good communication. You know, just for example, that Ash firing that Ash charge out to push that defender who was dug into that corner in and make him run straight into Sky's ADS reticle. They did a fantastic job that round. Let's see if perhaps they can carry that on and take a defensive round for the first time on Oregon.
They are changing it up a little bit. They're not defending Laundry Room this time because apparently when you defend Laundry against Sharsh, he's just going to drop the hatch and obliterate you no matter what. So they're changing, and this is what I like to see. I like to see teams adapt. See what the other team is doing, change what you're doing. Either change the way you're defending a certain site, or just change which site you're defending altogether. So that's what they've done. They're going upstairs. They're going to play this a little bit differently. They're probably going to have a roamer or two downstairs. I would expect to see Gurmy and you know, Super downstairs. They might have Skies running around downstairs as well. But I don't see, it looks like Mira has one window set up upstairs, and then the other window is going to be set up at the top of White Stairs. So they aren't going to be going for a kitchen hold here. Sometimes you'll see a team with a Pulse and a Mira and a Castle, and they will hold down inside of that kitchen. They'll have a Mira window set up watching towards dining room. And then they'll have the Pulse able to take out people that are directly above them. And then, you know, the Mira will just sit down, play her Mira window there. Castle barricades them off so they can't get shot through doorways. But that's not the strat that we're seeing right now. It's just one of the many strats that are available on this map. And that's one of the things about this map that makes it so common in CCS is there are a ton of developed strats that teams can work with. Yes, you have to practice it, but as long as you at least know about the strat and you put in a little bit of time to practice it, you just iron out as you go. You know, you can be like, hey, we know this strat exists. We know you're good with castle, so you play castle, you know where to set it up. You know, if there are things that go wrong, you learn from them. Yes, you want to do that in scrims, but sometimes you have to do it in a live match.
I agree with you. You know, it's one of those things that, oh, and before you get in the opening pick here, it's one of those things that, you know, it varies team by team. You have, you know, all three tiers of teams. You got Pro League, Challenger League, and you got one that's a tier below it. Sometimes because there's some underagers on it, sometimes because they're newly assembled teams with some good players. Powerhouse would be a good example of that. And so these different teams have different amounts that they play. You know, these Pro League players, this is pretty much their job, and for some of them it very well is their job, so they're playing 8 to 10 hours a day throughout the week. And so you'll see this really, really wide variance before you're getting a second kill of the round, headshot, onto my man. That being said, you know, these teams practice a very different amount, but it's, and so when you get down into the intricacies of how these rounds are played out and how these teams play these rounds, you can really tell when stuff like that begins to show up.
And I mean, most of the players for JSG, you know, like you said, they play this game a lot. That's some bad droning from Euphoria there. He just put his drone right past Gurmy, and Gurmy knows it. He's just going to sit in this corner and wait for someone to push in front of him. But Throw's going to take out Skies, but then Anime gets the shot on a Gurmy from somewhere. I didn't even see that coming. I thought he was just going to sit where he was.
Just as easily as JSG dismantled Nomads. Nomads came right back and had a almost flawless round. 4 players left alive and tore JSG apart, taking them to match point in Oregon. And now JSG a large obstacle ahead of them if they want to carry this off to map 3 and take a chance at perhaps winning this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, this is one hell of a gap to close. If they decide to wake up now, if they play things a little bit differently now, if they play this attack like they did their last one, they just need to work out what they're doing on their defense. They need to find out how to shut down people like Euphoria and Sharsh. You know, they are just pushing in and shutting down the entirety of JSG, and it's ridiculous. I mean, Euphoria was playing Sledge last round. He got 2 entry frags. Completely shut them down. I thought he was going to make a huge mistake by not spotting that Valkyrie, but you know, Anime sitting on that window on that Blackbeard, just he was ready for it, and he covered his teammate. He was ready to make sure the rest of his team made it out of there alive. So it's just these incredible plays coming out from Nomads right now, and they've just they're playing incredible right now on this map. They're showing their true colors. This is why they're undefeated right now. This is why they could remain undefeated for quite a while. So sorry, I'm just being informed that it's Cali, like California.
Yeah,
Cali.
no, I'm watching the chat too. I just responded to it too. And for those of you like, we're on a
Whoopsies.
4-minute delay, so that's all right. You know, we're having some fun here. But anyways, Sky's starting it off with the opening pick on attack. They had a pretty successful attack round last time, so let's see if they can kind of continue that trend and pick away at Nomads Roamers, who I believe they're defending the basement again. Yes, the basement.
Yeah, but this time I don't think they're going for as much of a meeting hold as they went for before. So they're changing it up, and I think JSG was a little bit ready for that meeting hall hold. So they're kind of taking it carefully, trying to drone it out, trying to make sure that they know where everyone is, when it's going to be safe to peek. And it's smart, you know, you don't want to just go all in right away. But you know, if they're focused too much on trying to take out a meeting hold, then it could waste a lot of time for them before they really start moving on the site. And if you're wasting time without even doing anything, I don't think you can be a better defender. You know, they're all sitting on site. They don't have to be in meeting hall. They're still wasting time in meeting hall. But Anime was up near that rear stage there. He's still hanging out here, just watching to make sure nobody comes for this flank. He does have some holes right here. Gurmy is going to try to peek it a little bit. He's not going to get spotted. He's going to get the shot off. Anime getting shut down completely there. It is a 3v5. JSG is just shutting these people down one by one. Super taking out Euphoria now. It's Sharsh and Callie. Callie is going to peek this hallway, and my man is going to shut him down. It's all down to Sharsh. Sky's dropping the hatch. It's going to get taken down. Sharsh is going to be sitting in the side, and he's going to get hit by the sledgehammer. I want to see this kill
yeah,
cam.
I want to see what's going on. Oh, my goodness.
He dropped the hatch
dude.
with his hammer out.
That is classic. That, speaking of highlight reel, move over throw, because my man swinging the hammer, getting that round-winning kill, and there's some LOLs coming out in chat. But a good round overall. JSG did a fantastic job of eliminating those roamers, and I'm a little bit confused as to why Nomads changed it up. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Make them defeat something that has been proven to work. And if they can make that adjustment, fine, right? But at least you give them something that has given them something of a challenge to a degree that they have lost the round because of it, right? Make them adjust and don't get cute with it. And I think it was kind of a botch thing. Perhaps they ran out of time because they did deploy a lot of utility in meeting, and they didn't reinforce the main hatch, for example. So, yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, but let's hope that Nomads can shake off that loss and bring it back and attempt to win this match.
Yeah, and I mean, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, I wouldn't say I 100% agree. Yes, if you know for a fact that hold is going to work against the other team, keep going with that hold. But I think what they were ready for is they were prepared for JSG to adapt to it. And they were ready for JSG to push it differently, where they actually pushed them out of meeting hall. And they didn't want to risk that. And I think it was a late decision by them. And that's why some of their utility was up inside of meeting hall there. And then they didn't have all of the utility that they needed covering his site. So I think it might have just been kind of a botched call by their IGL that might have cost them that round. Skies is going to be here trying to shut down the Hibana pellets that are going to open up that hatch. I don't think he succeeded. I think there was one left. Yep, so that hatch is going to be opened regardless. A nice try there from Skies. But it's just going to come down to how well Nomads is able to just take out this defense. They know it's a standard defense. They're all downstairs right now. I think they have one person near rear stage. Maybe Throw is over there getting ready to shut down someone that might try to flank through meeting hall. They've got some Valkyrie cameras that are upstairs. I think Anime might have spotted one on his drone there, but they haven't taken it out. But yet then Throw jumping in through the window is going to get taken out by my man, putting it to a 3v5. So this is not looking too great for Nomads right now. Callie has to shut down my man inside of this big tower here if he wants to really progress inside through here. It looks like he's just going to give up and head to garage, though. I think my man is preparing that window for a jump out right now. So Callie is going to make the right call and just go around the garage instead of in through that back door. But they're wasting a lot of time. My man is in that tower. He's there. He's not really moving. He's not giving you guys the ability to take him out. So you need to make a decision. Either you ignore it or you drone him out and push it. And then Anime with a bad flash there. I think he might have flashed a few of his teammates, unfortunately. But they needed to make the decision. I'm guessing they're ignoring it. Callie now is going to be on top of this laundry machine going for the plant. A C4 is going to come out. It's not going to get the kill, but then another C4 from Skies comes out, gets the kill, and then my man takes out Euphoria. Anime taking out my man. It's down to a 1v4. All 4 defenders are downstairs on site now. Anime is going to get hit by a Grismont mine. None of the defenders are really capitalizing on it and pushing it. 30 seconds left. Anime has to do something incredible here. He's been playing this Blackbeard all night. He's gotten some incredible kills with it. One of the defenders is going for a flank. Now, Skies was sitting close, but he's going to get the Deagle kill onto Anime to shut down the round.
Wow. And a lot of confidence now from JSG. It's the Deagle and the Hammer back-to-back. And JSG, speaking of back-to-back, 2 back-to-back rounds, their first defensive win here on Oregon. And just like that, it goes from a 4-1 to a 4-3, and this is Nomad's last chance to close it out before going into overtime. So let's hope that they can shake off the meminess of those end of the round kills and bring it back and hold that laundry room successfully like they were able to do the first go around.
Yeah, I think maybe this time they're going to go for that meeting hold again. They pulled it off beautifully before. I'd like to see them pull it off again. Maybe focus a little bit more utility up there to stop them from breaching into meeting hall in the first place. But if they make a late decision and they get a lot of stuff set up in meeting hall and then suddenly decide, nah, let's hold downstairs, it's going to be extremely unfortunate. But we do see them setting up a lot towards meeting hall right now. Some reinforcements going up in attic. And Euphoria reinforcing the walls to the south of meeting hall. I think they might have reinforced the walls between kitchen and meeting hall. So I think they are once again going to go for that meeting hall that worked out so well for them in the past.
Indeed, it looks to be so, as they are again leaving the main hatch soft. But they're opening up that stage wall, which is just the most predictable. I don't like that at all. And he really paid for it last time. I mean, he just got annihilated at trying to peak that once they moved into meeting hall. I disagree with that decision again because it's so predictable. I mean, it's a huge gaping hole in the wall that they're going to take zero time to identify that that's there. And then from then on, they will be continually peaking that and expecting that. That being said, I don't know if some intel came out about Sharsh's position, but Skies is now holding an angle on that door, and little does he know that if he just pulls the trigger, he might be able to take him out. I'm not sure if he punched the door or if they saw him. He's definitely not making a move towards it, so we'll have to wait and see. Oh, there goes a drone just at the bottom edge of that door, so they know he's in there. And Anime getting a beautiful pick. I'm not sure where that happened. Probably close to meeting hall. And that being said, they're just leaving Sharsh alone in there. Maybe they didn't get the intel that I thought they did. Maybe they just heard some rustling in there. Anime working his way through meeting hall. And now JSG, I feel a little bit confused about where to go from here. They didn't bring the utility to open up that meeting hall like they did last time, and Throw picking up a beautiful kill, 5-3. Like I was saying, last time they kind of systematically went through kitchen and opened up that wall in a meeting. They didn't attack that way. They thought maybe that was a one and done sort of situation. Nomads bringing that meeting hold back, and it seems to be really paying off here as there's only 1:30 left, and they got 2 guys up on them. Meanwhile, Shuttles is down in blue holding an angle, hoping to catch somebody on surprise, feeling a little bit too comfortable downstairs. And he takes a couple of shots at Throw, exposes himself. Meanwhile, Skies gets a headshot, bringing it to a 4v3. They know Shuttle's there, so now they're a little bit more aware. He won't be able to get the element of surprise off anymore. But it's a little bit more even on the player count, and thus the stalls continue for the attackers, waiting for their teammates to kind of make their way down.
Anime is still hanging out inside of the meeting hall here, so he's going to waste a lot of time. If you don't have control of the entirety of upstairs, or if you have nothing to shut down a flank, then you cannot go for this take. But Anime is just sitting next to the stage right now. Skies is going to run right in front of him. My man is on the stage up above. He gets the shot onto Anime, putting it to a 2v3. It's now Shuttle and my man that are alive right now. My man is going to start opening up some of these hatches as Euphoria kills Throw with a smoke canister. Bad move there, but they could still come back from this. Sharsh then decides to go into the hallway and gets taken out by Shuttle. Euphoria does down and finally take out my man. And now with 10 seconds left on the clock, he has to shut down Shuttle, and he's going to peek around the corner with a shotgun and get a headshot on Shuttle as he tries to go through the wall. That's going to be the match.
That will be the match. Indeed, Nomads taking it 2-0 versus Japanese Schoolgirl. A very interesting end to that round as some very strange kills go back and forth. But Nomads, a very impressive job, and they will stay undefeated through week 6, 6-0. GG's to everybody. JSG putting up a good fight, but Nomads proving that they were a force to be reckoned with.
Sledge OP though.
Sledge OP.
He made that decision long before he dropped through that hatch. He was ready for it. I mean, he said, you know what? I'm just gonna go for it. I'm probably gonna go back and see if I can find the comms on Sky's stream to see real quick. If he just yelled at them saying, "Guys, hold my beer, I'm going in."
Hold my beer and watch this.
I mean, because he just, the second he started dropping that hatch, he pulled his sledgehammer out, came flying around the corner, and was just ready for that kill. Yeah. It was hysterical.
Well, I'm excited that we had a very good game for that map number 2. Folks, we thank you so much for joining us tonight. This is CCS Invite Series Season 2. We stream every Monday, every Friday, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern. So thank you so much for tuning in tonight. If you're new here, there's a follow button above. If you've been here for a while, there is a sub button below. We appreciate the support. My name is Tight Angles. Thank you so much for joining us tonight here with Crazy Man and our beautiful cameraman. You did a fantastic job. Mr. Ghastly Pally filling in at crunch time when we had a problem with our scheduled camera guy. So thank you so much to him. Give him some love in chat. Folks, we will see you for 2 very exciting matches on Friday. We hope to see you here at 8 o'clock Eastern. We'll see you next time.